Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media. Life is full of issues and stories about people, communities, and governments. Stories that have to be told by well-trained journalists. That's why you can't imagine news without Joy News.
And starting this June on Joy News, we connect you to the rest of the continent on Connect Africa with me, Blessed Suga. The issue about loss and damage reparations. How is the West receiving such a call from especially African leaders?
The losses are actually being borne by African countries.
I will be here live from the Joy News studio speaking to our affiliates and correspondents from across Africa with news, analysis, interviews, and conversations from the rest of the continent.
If you look at successive opinion polls, Peter Obi seems to be leading. So the question is, if the insecurity causes a low voter turnout, would it impact on the fortunes of the candidate?
Join us on Connect Africa on the Joy News channel.
We've told their stories. It's now time to celebrate and honor their selflessness. It's a moment of recognition and giving these personalities the platform to expand their impact and promote development. They are the finalists of the Joy News Impact Makers Awards. Who among our extraordinary 10 nominees will earn the envious title of the Joy News Impact Maker of the Year? Isaac Ajaoto, Richard Oko, Ellen White or Jefferson Agbotro, Amadou Mohammed, Ilyas Ubaba, Isaka Anesi or Joy Okra. There are also Father Moses Awenonja and John Akaribo. Make a date with us on the 23rd of June 2023, live on your most authoritative and credible news portal, the Joy News channel, for the live telecast and celebration of the Impact Makers of the Year. The Joy News Impact Makers Awards, celebrating ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their communities.
Joy News Impact Makers Awards is sponsored by KGL Foundation, empowering lives, changing communities, and Gold Key Properties, building prestige since 1997.
Imagine a family without a home. Imagine a song without a voice. Imagine a church without prayers. Imagine a government without citizens. Imagine democracy without journalists. Imagine a world without the media.
Welcome to News Desk. I am Amisi Thompson. This hour, I will come after you if corruption allegations are made against you. Special prosecutor warns.
Now, if the accusations against you that you seized excavators and you are unable to account for it, I won't sleep over it. I'll come after you.
More, as he says, his respect for the former chairman of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Frimpong Boateng, will not stop him from delivering on his ultimate charge, which is in the interest of the nation. 66 years of borrowing, 17 IMF bailouts will tell you how Ghana has failed to manage its debt crisis in our latest Hotline documentary, which is airing tonight at 8:30 p.m.
It will be the last time we'll have to go to the IMF again for any such program. This will be the IMF program to end all programs.
And on our Potholes exhibition series today, we put the spotlight on the Kaneshi Highway and the devastating manholes which have developed on the stretch, and later. On National Science and Maths Quiz, we tell you about the 21 schools in the Upper West region and how they are gunning for this year's regional qualifiers into the national chairmanship. Stay with us for details plus more. I will start with the Special Prosecutor, Kisia Jabin, says he respects the credentials of former Environment Minister Professor Frimpong Boateng and does not intend to embarrass him with the ongoing investigations. However, he has a charge to keep for the public and the country. The response follows claims by Professor Frimpong Boateng that he has been victimized by the Special Prosecutor in a recent interview with Evans Mensah.
I respect the credentials of the professor, and I doff off my hat to him. You know very well, you know me personally, you know very well how and my life's trajectory. On another score, I'm an academician myself, and so I respect such people on all scores. I mean, his CV is unbelievable. I respect that. I applaud him for that. But I have a charge to keep. The charge I have to keep is to the Republic of Ghana and to the public. I have been put in this position to investigate corruption and corruption-related offenses. I've been put in this office to prosecute people who I deem to be culpable for such offenses. I have been put in this office to recover assets for the country. I have been put in this office to prevent corruption. These are the 4 tasks that I have until August 2028. Now, when a case comes before me, first, it's a preliminary investigation. I go under with my officers. Is there any substance to this matter? I'm answering your question. I'll come to it.
Sure.
Is there any substance to this matter? When the preliminary investigation is over, I have certain options. One option is to say, there's no meat in this matter. Let us just file it away. Maybe one day it may not be cold. Another option open to me is that there is a lot of wisdom in opening a full investigation, and so we should do a broader and fuller inquiry into this matter. And this is where we are in terms of the fight against Galamsey. Now, when you are appearing before us, depending on what we deem to be the charges we are envisaging against you, depending on the nature of the evidence and what we deem to be the seriousness of it, we take action appropriately. I will state again, the public and any member of the public has the luxury to consecrate saints. But in consecrating your saints and your heroes, mind you again, I'm stating again, I am your conscience. I am the spirit of the nation, and the office stands for that. In the estimation of the office, there are no saints. In the estimation of the office, there are no heroes. Now, if I approach this job of fighting corruption, that there are some persons in the society who have attained this status of sainthood, we will lose the fight against corruption.
According to Mr. Kisié Jebing, every member of the defunct Interministerial Committee is a target of investigations and will not be spared.
We cannot be irresponsible and sit back without going after these things. Now, if the president establishes an interministerial committee, later on the president dissolves it, and there are all manner of allegations against this committee, this dissolved committee, we are already doing our investigations in respect of corruption and corruption-related matters regarding Galamsey. And then
the new Chevy Silverado HD puts you in command. Own strength with its enhanced available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8. Own the lake with its available advanced towing technology. And own technology with an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. The new Chevy Silverado HD. Own work, own play, own life. Learn more at Chevy.com. Find new roads. Chevrolet. The new Chevy Silverado HD puts you in command. Own strength with its enhanced available Duramax 6.6-liter turbo diesel V8. Own the lake with its available advanced towing technology. And own technology with an available 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. The new Chevy Silverado HD. Own work, own play, own life. Learn more at Chevy.com. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
To my newborn baby boy, the day you arrived was one of the happiest days of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV from that guy on the internet and insured it with Progressive. What a deal. Just know, son, I'll always be here for you. And by here, I mean in the middle of absolutely nowhere. In my RV.
Protect your baby with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Literally in the world, though this is a list of African countries, in terms of the proportion of your GDP, and there's a proportion of how much debt that was, forgiven, Ghana was number 2 on the list of African countries at least. So you see that had huge benefit from HIPIC. More than $6 billion of money was freed up for us.
The borrowing came a vicious cycle, and Ghana couldn't escape the trap even after debt forgiveness. Ghana discovered oil, and by 2011, the country had started producing and exporting its first barrels of crude oil.
I do not want Ghanaians to think that the oil discovery is the end of everything. That is the end of the journey. If anything, it's the beginning of the journey. We want to make sure that we derive the maximum benefit from the oil. But that should not take away attention from the other very important areas, agriculture. No nation can flourish without a strong agricultural base.
In January 2011, Ghana was set to become the fastest growing economy in sub-Saharan Africa, as projected by the World Bank, with an end-period growth rate of 13.4%. Indeed, Ghana ended 2011 with a growth rate of 14%. By 2015, Ghana's economy was in trouble, hobbled by widening current account and budget deficits, rampant inflation, and a depreciating currency. Credit dried up as interest rates rose and banks' bad loans piled up.
Precisely because the structure of the economy explains a lot of the things that you see at the macro level and even at the micro level. So that is fine, because essentially we don't add margins to the primary commodities. And look, the world thrives on margins. To the extent that you are not adding margins, you are not getting value, and therefore you don't command price in the market.
After several considerations, Ghana was back to the IMF seeking a fresh bailout. This was our 16th.
But by the time we went to Sinchi and looked at the policies and the rest, we realized, that it was going to be difficult. And then as, was the case, the development partners also decided that, they didn't think we could handle this problem ourselves. They look to the IMF, which is the lender of last resort.
It will be the last time we'll have to go to the IMF again for any such program. This will be the IMF program to end all programs.
One target of Ghana's 16th IMF program was to help restore our debt burden to sustainable levels.
The 16th IMF program actually failed on one of its objectives, which was to substantially bring down debt. So the 16th IMF program really did not do much in terms of bringing Ghana's debt to a sustainable level.
A Nation That Begs airs on the Joy News channel later tonight at 8:30 p.m. The highways are generally smooth in nature, serving as quick routes for drivers. But that's not the case of the highway from Kaneshie First Light to Odoko Waterworks, which has huge portions severely destroyed by mini swimming pools, stagnant water bearing the semblance of creamy beverages, as well as the mother of all devastation, potholes. In today's edition of Joy News' Ghana's Pothole Exhibition, my colleague Pakwesi Shandov captures a deplorable spectacle which has become a headache for both drivers and commuters alike.
Creamy beverages always delights the tongue. Flashes of the ones on the streets of Accra do not satisfy drivers. Instead, it makes their tongues wag with complaints and endless frustrations.
The situation has persisted for the past 7 years. We've been pleading with authorities, but to no avail. Because of the poor nature of the road, a lot of people have actually lost their lives while crossing it.
But how do these creamy beverages end up on the streets in the first place? Potholes. They are served and produced by potholes, a menace on almost all the roads in the country. Apart from serving what looks like beverages on the streets, potholes also create other embarrassing scenes on our roads. This is not a beach resort, neither is it a spot for relaxation. It's actually a lane on the Odoko Malam Highway. Unfortunately, the place has now become a resting place for water, as you can see. And anytime it rains, it becomes a severe challenge, not only for drivers, but commuters alike. Terrible, devastating, and a real pain. These are some of the strong adjectives commuters use in describing the glaring potholes sitting in the middle of some parts of the Kaneshie Malam Highway, a principal road network in the capital, Accra. A brief inspection of some parts of the highway from Kaneshie First Light to Odoko Waterworks in affirmed that the sentiments of road users are not far-fetched, neither are they exaggerations. But some things need to be said. The situation is simply an eyesore, causing a lot of unbearable inconveniences for commuters. Some of the road users who spoke to Joy News could simply not hide their displeasure.
Charlie, this one is no good, honestly. Every time in less than like 6 months, it gets back to, worse. It's really bad. This road originally was very, very good. They came with a certain machine and then they just graded the whole road. And the thing was supposed to fix it some way, somehow. And that's what actually started this whole thing.
It's very bad. And these roads, they do the road. I don't know the kind of things they are using to do the road. If they do the road more than 1 month or less than 1 month, then there's damage again. And we are pleading to the government to come and do the road for us.
The cars are not able to move freely here due to the gullies, creating a very awkward situation all the time.
I wonder why authorities can't fix the situation. As usual, they are waiting for a child of a high-profile person to die on the road before they get to work. Meanwhile, if the youth block the road in protest now, they will be questioned. The road from here, that is Kaneshi First Light to Odoko, has some issues. Authorities should at least tackle some of the issues, even if not all.
Just in the middle of the road at Odoko Waterworks is a more dire situation. A pool not designed by nature sits openly in the road, created by constant friction between car tires and the road. The effects of the mini swimming pool at Odoko Waterworks have far-reaching consequences. Ordinarily, road users stand on the last lane, which has now been blocked by water, to board vehicles. But the potholes have compelled them to stand at a much riskier location to get on vehicles. This, they further lament, is worrying.
The water is just destroying the road, creating manholes on the road. The water has also blocked the road. So we are pleading with authorities to promptly address the situation.
The menace is increasingly severe. And
okay, let's get this cavity filled.
Doctor, I think your tank is leaking laughing gas.
Gas? Did you hear you can save on gas at BJ's Wholesale Club?
Wait, you can save on gas at BJ's?
Yeah, members save on everyday low gas prices.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope, these savings are no joke.
BJ's, absurdly simple savings. Shop today. Not a member? Go to bjs.com/simple savings.
Situation. Are you somebody who could plead guilty to a lesser crime and maybe get time instead of waiting, maybe exposing yourself to life in prison? So we found that really justice can happen. The other thing that happens with a thing like plea bargaining is that we're able to decongest the courts, because that's really the problem with pretrial detention is the courts are all congested. So we want to leave the trials for the real cases that we need to fight. Now, what we find also across our work is that we find people here who shouldn't be here, either from mental issues or from the fact that they just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And so those people will go to the DPP and will say, hey, there's no evidence against this person.
A scheduled leader of the paralegal unit at the Nsawam prison, Superintendent Christiana Dabo Williams, believes the initiative has the tendency to decongest the prisons.
We realize that remand prisons have reduced these days because of the justice for all. Formerly it was huge, but due to the justice for all, as of today, I told you, it is 114. That is 114 remand prisoners. Due to your presence here, it will work a lot. It leaves some of them.
A public defender at the Legal Aid Commission, Rita Ali, has however urged corporate organizations to support their efforts in getting justice for the remand inmates in the country's prisons.
At the Legal Aid Commission, like I said, it's a public office and we are under-resourced. So funding is a major issue. Not too long ago, I think sometime last year, the president launched the Legal Aid Fund. I don't remember that there's anything in the fund as of now. So anybody who wants to give us money should bring it to us. We'll gladly take it.
The NGO also donated cows to the inmates.
My name is Carlos Caloni for Joy News.
The Kumasi South Hospital is recording high cases of teenage mothers unable to afford maternity and medical care. Some discharged new mothers are compelled to stay in the hospital for weeks, awaiting a miracle to settle their medical bills. There's more on the following report by Clinton Yeboah.
Per the 2020 statistics from the Ghana Health Service, the Ashanti region is ranked first with more than 17,000 cases of teenage pregnancies. The Kumasi South Hospital's maternity unit records girls between the ages of 13 and 18 reporting for delivery. According to the Deputy Chief Nursing Officer in charge of the maternity block, Victoria Safuao, say the majority of the teenage mothers report to the hospital with no money. She reveals the hospital staff are compelled to cater for the bills and other essentials of the mothers.
This facility, especially the natives who come here, they normally come, most of them come without nothing. They will come to deliver without having anything. So once they will be here for a longer time before maybe the hospital will decide on what to do next. Even we have a clinic specifically for the teenagers. So we have a pregnancy school that we talk with them. We teach them a lot. But still, it looks as if they still come. And then there's nothing we can do. Once they come we have to attend to them. We can't leave them like that. So we just attend to them. And when we finish, even at times it will be the nurses and the midwives, the staff will be buying food for them, other things for them before finally you see what happens.
She was speaking in appreciation of a 20,000 Ghana cedis donation made to the maternity unit to discharge underprivileged mothers in the hospital. About 68 of such mothers were discharged for free on the philanthropic deeds of the Garden of Grace Foundation.
About my work about 15 million. Then the meaning baby also, I'm not poor mammy, a witchy mammy, the one said.
No, Mr. Mabok, I make good to a fair no see. Let me near the door so be there. I almost only 15 million. And now, it's why I bump pay us and will be doing for others over that.
Representative of the Garden of Grace Foundation, Reverend Chris Owusu Osei, indicated that the donation will settle the bills of beneficiaries and allow them to be discharged.
Organizing this donation is to ensure that those who are here, they have been discharged, but they don't have enough amount to settle the bill. We came on behalf of those people to ensure that the bills are settled.
Reporting for J News, Clinton.
Health Minister Kwekwajima Mainu is urging members of advisory boards, heads of department, as well as teaching and non-teaching staff of the various health training institutions in the country to be accountable and transparent in matters that come before them. He noted that the sense of accountability and transparency are indispensable, which should be their guiding principles if they are to succeed. Kwekwajima Mainu was speaking at a workshop on corporate governance held in Wa. Joy News Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports.
The 3-day workshop, organized by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with the Christian Health Association of Ghana, CHAG, on corporate governance for cluster of health training institutions in the Upper West region, is to boost the capacity of nursing and midwifery training schools in the region. The purpose of the workshop is to elevate corporate governance and service delivery in health training institutions by enhancing the knowledge, skills, and abilities of different stakeholders involved. These stakeholders included the advisory board members, members of management, heads of departments, as well as teaching and non-teaching staff. Chief Executive Officer of the Christian Health Association of Ghana, Dr. Peter Kwame Yeboah, in a keynote address on behalf of the Minister for Health, Kwekwajima Mainu, urged the participants to act reasonably and fairly and comply with the rules and regulations of the country. He further urged them to be transparent and accountable in the roles given to them.
The sense of accountability is indispensable. It is either you perform or you perish. Non-performance of which imposes risk on you as a person, as a professional, or in your own capacity as a citizen of the country. But accountability has two components: the resources that you are given and the results that you are expected to produce. You are given the resource of trust, time, and position, and you are expected to support the school, produce formed, professionally trained healthcare professionals. So accountability is the first pillar of corporate governance. The second pillar is transparency. Transparency in the disclosure of our plans, programs, transparency in financial administration, transparency in the processes, rules and regulations in promoting the agenda of the school, in decision-making processes in the board. We will learn conflict of interest issues. We will also learn how do we project and preserve the interests of the schools in such a way that our personal interests would rather be used to promote the public agenda.
Head of Legal Affairs Unit at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Alhaji Inua Yunus, cautioned that the law could either be a sword or a shield. He advised that sharpening the thrust of the leadership of health training institutions is key to ensuring that the law is a shield rather than a sword against them. He encouraged them to operate in a manner that will shield them from avoidable legal action. Dr. Alaji Inuwa noted that even if the rulings from such actions were given in their favor, they will still endure wasted time and resources, lost opportunities, and damage to their personal reputation and that of the institutions they represented. Head of Health Training Institutions at the Ministry of Health, Felix Yante, shed more light on the workshop.
The Ministry of Health has appointed advisory board members to help principals of the health training institutions to peacefully and prudently govern our training institutions. We realize that they have not been given any orientation of a sort. So they have tried in their own small ways to assist the principals in terms of governance to rule or govern the schools. They have done in their own understanding, and the time has come that we give them some structured orientation so that they can perform their roles, their duties and responsibilities with much admiration.
Reporting for J News, Rafiq Salam.
A professor of epidemiology at the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Fred Binka, has shut down the implementation of the Agenda 111 policy as a measure to prepare for a pandemic. According to him, the construction of 111 district health facilities is not feasible, indicating the project would only increase the number of uncompleted government structures due to lack of funding. He was speaking at the University's Health Allied Sciences St. Ghana Health Advocacy Incubator Symposium on Public Health Emergency Funding.
One of the two critical things that we took out from the COVID was that there were not enough health facilities across the country. So we rightly started what is called Agenda 111 to increase health infrastructure. Okay? 111 hospitals. Goodness. That's a great idea. Why couldn't we say, okay, this year we'll build 20, next year 20, till we do what? 111. So far, we haven't built any. Okay? When is the first one going to finish? So we just gone on a target. The truth of the matter is that the Agenda 111 will have many uncompleted structures in the bush at the end of the day. That's the truth. You all know it. I've not seen the budget for the equipment. Building brick and mortar is not a hospital. If you can't find money to build a brick and mortar, how are you going to fund the equipment? Number two, have you made preparations for the human resource that make the hospital function? As of yesterday, I heard 6,000 nurses have gone to real greener pastures. And more will follow. 6,000. This is not a joke. So we got 100 million to start up the Agenda 111. Look, sometimes I'm not sure how these things work. But at the last count, we were told that the Agenda 111 will cost almost $1 billion. When you get 100 million, you don't start to build 111. You have to face it in. Or now you have started 111 hospitals all over the place. Have you got the 900 million? Now we are to IMF. The IMF comes and says, I'm sorry, you can't be investing in capital expenditure when you can't find money to pay your salaries of your workers. Or you can't give textbooks to your school people. I don't want to get into that point.
Now let's head to the courts where lawyers for Secretary of the defunct Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Charles Bisu, are demanding copies of documents forming the basis of the decision by the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate him. Now, lead counsel Naneje Iwa told the High Court he is unable to move the motion, asking the court to restrain the OSP unless he receives the documents. Lawyers of the OSP, led by Dr. Isidore Tufo, however, disregard disagreed with this view. Dr. Tufo insisted there is no relationship between the said documents Mr. Bisu is requesting and the motion for injunction. This legal battle is in respect of investigations conducted by the OSP on the back of the documentary Galamsey Fraud, published by Anas Arimiel. And as legal affairs correspondent Joseph Akable joins us with more. Joseph, we understand an article published by former Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu came up during the legal arguments.
Led by Nana Jewa, and he explained that it was that article that pointed them to the fact that indeed someone saw the petition asking the Office of Special Prosecutor to investigate Charles Bisu. Their belief is that that petition was authored by Mr. Jabe, the current Special Prosecutor, who at the time was there for Tiger Eye private investigation and Anas Arimiana. And so they want a copy of that investigation, which they believe will enable them put forward their case as to why the court should not allow the investigation to continue.
All right, Joseph, what did the OSP say in response to this?
And Dr. Isidore Tufo, who represented the OSP, said that nowhere in the documents that have been filed by the lawyers for Charles Bisu do they make reference to the fact that they want such a document in order to make their case. And so he said this is purely an afterthought, and that if they have discovered such a document and they want to have access to it, then they know the right thing to do and not to use the back door and all proceedings and say that until they have access to that document, they cannot move the application for injunction. He doesn't think that is fair to the proceedings. The judge agreed with that particular view, but said that he was nonetheless going to attend the proceedings because of the fact that the lawyer for Charles Bisu had indicated that he was not well.
Well, we also know that the OSP is looking for Mr. Bisu in respect of a different investigation. Was he in court?
No, Charles Bisu was not present in court today. In fact, since this case was filed in December, more than 5 court proceedings, he has not attended any of them, so he was not present in court today.
Right, thank you, Joseph. Joseph Akable is our legal correspondent. Now to the National Science and Maths Quiz. 21 senior high schools in the Upper West are expected to face off for one of the 6 loss in the regional qualifiers of the 2023 National Science and Maths Quiz Championship. 6 qualified schools will join the seeded St. Francis Xavier Seminary Senior High School to represent the region. The 2-day competition will see the region's top-placed schools slag it out in 6 different contests happening at the Upper West Regional Library. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku is in one reports.
In a highly anticipated showdown, 43 schools in the central region are vying for the coveted 9 slots in the national science.
Schools in the Upper West region have in the last few years not featured quite prominently in the national competition.
We have a story to write, and we are going to make sure we are going to right all our critics wrong. We will make it to the final.
As arguably the torchbearer for the region, St. Francis Xavier SHS had to bow out of the 2022 championship at the quarter-final stage.
Okay, go ahead.
Differential function.
No.
Center of mass.
Right.
The 2-time finalists lost to Kumasi High School, ending their quest to rewrite their school's history.
St. Francis Xavier Junior Seminary, thank you for being here. Unfortunately, this is the end of the road for you this year.
As the only school from the Upper West region seeded in the 2023 championship, 21 schools will square up in the region's qualifiers to book a place at the national tournament. 6 of the schools will join the seminarians to hoist the flag of the region higher at the national championship. After making their first appearance in 2021 and losing out in the 2022 qualifiers, while SHS is hoping to redeem its image at the national tournament, they are set to compete with serial qualifiers St. Ignatius of Loyola SHS and one-time regional qualifiers Kalio SHTS. The much-anticipated contest on the first day of the qualifiers will feature all-time rivals Nandom SHS and St. Francis Girls of Assisi SHS battle it out alongside Juapa SHS and debutant Lugu Community Day SHS.
When check all the way down, that's the part. When you pass, you don't get any school.
In all, 6 contests will take place within the 2-day period, with a number of the schools hoping to be at the center stage of the national championship and eventually clinching the coveted title. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
We break for business. We'll be right back.
HD, the new exciting football channel, is now available only on HD Plus and brings you football from around the world. Watch Sadio Mane and Daniel Kufitre in the top weekly match of the Bundesliga 1 and DFB Cup, Primera Liga, Copa de la Liga Profesional. See Ronaldo in the Saudi Pro League, as well as daily sports news every other hour. Also, get updated on Messi and Mbappe on PSG TV and many more. Feely on HD Plus channel 151. Agrona Ede, HD Plus, the Feely experience.
For crystal clear and thrilling podcasts and live shows, download and listen to us on Apple, Spotify, TuneIn.
The doctor will see you now.
But do they really? Do they see you as a mother who's a daughter and a caregiver? A health nut with a French fry habit? An O-positive geologist named Patty who's here today for a melanoma exam. At Kaiser Permanente, we believe the only way to care for all of you is by seeing all that is you. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you. Learn more at kp.org.
Kaiser Foundation Health Plan of the Mid-Atlantic States Incorporated, 2101 East Jefferson Street, Rockville, Maryland, 20852.
Okay, let's get this cavity filled.
Doctor, I think your tank is leaking laughing gas.
Gas? Did you hear you can save on gas at BJ's Wholesale Club?
Wait, you can save on gas at BJ's?
Yeah, members save on everyday low gas prices.
You gotta be kidding me.
Nope, these savings are no joke.
BJ's, absurdly simple savings. Shop today. Not a member? Go to bjs.com/simple savings.
What shall we do with the broke propeller? What shall we do with the broke propeller? Don't look at me, I wasn't driving. Thank you, you're not helping. I don't even know why you bought this boat. You told me that you loved this boat. That was before you wrecked the boat. Well, now you've made it awkward.
Accidents don't just happen in sea shanties, so Progressive Boat Insurance has you covered. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms and not available for all boats or in all situations.
Google Podcasts, MyJoy Online, Amazon services like Echo, Amazon Music, and Audible, Stitcher, Adom Online, Overcast, and Pandora. Take note of everything. Sign up for the multimedia digital platforms now to stay updated.
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Event vendors are concerned about the impact of utility tariff hikes and high inflation on their operations. The Event Vendors Association indicates that the current exchange rate regime is not favorable, causing great distress within the space. President of the association, Kate Hassan, has been speaking to Joy Business.
We are still trying to bounce back and do what we know how to do best.
Okay, now let's talk about
How did it affect the industry for you?
It affected us massively because looking at, when it comes to events, we have the logistic companies who supplies us to do our events. The dollar, the foreign exchange rates, everything. I mean, duties, taxes they all went up, and it really affected our industry. For instance, we used to do events event for guests between, our highest was up to 1,000, but last year our highest was 300, and some of them even cut up to 50. You get an event with 300 guests, and by the time on the D-day of the event or a week or two before the event, the client will come back and say, I'm having issues with money and all that, so we have to cut down to the number of guests. We can't do it anymore, and it's really affected us to the extent that those who even pulled out of their 8-to-5 jobs had to go back, and it's been difficult to come back to do into the industry. So it hasn't been easy, and it's still not easy. We are still trying to find our feet. But just like you said, everything that goes on in our society, it's events. So we are trying to do our very best to still stay in our industry and support the country as a whole or the society.
Now, Johnny Walker, the world's #1 Scotch whiskey brand, has announced that red label and black label will no longer come in cardboard packaging as part of a wider packaging strategy with a focus on reducing, reusing, and recycling. This initiative forms part of the brand's commitment towards taking bold steps to building a more sustainable future. Speaking to Joy Business as part of the Green Ghana Day celebration, Marketing and Innovations Director of Guinness Ghana, producers of Johnny Walker, Estella Muzito, said her company will continue to take active steps towards championing sustainability and becoming sustainable by design.
The removal of cardboard packaging across Johnny Walker Black Label and Red Label will not only reinforce the brand's commitment to championing sustainability and building Ghana's circular economy, but also contribute to eliminating over 7,000 tons of carbon from Diageo's supply chain. The Stepping Out of the Box campaign is a step forward in the direction in achieving Society 2030. Estella Muzito said through this initiative, over 100 million cardboard packaging will be phased out globally, representing 50% of total Scotch cardboard individual bottle cartons.
We've started, very seriously putting in our best efforts to really drive the conversation around environmental conservation. So last year, we made a decision globally, as a #1 Scotch whiskey, to start reducing some of our packaging. You know very well that the boxes that we pack in some of our brands, have to come from trees. And we felt, one of the first steps to really reducing on our carbon footprint was to start rethinking our packaging. So the next thing that we thought about as a team was, what else could we do on the ground to really, really show how serious we are about the environment? And so that's why we are here today. We said, why not contribute to the, tree planting agenda? This year we're talking about planting 10 million trees. And as Johnny Walker, we're never scared of a challenge. And so we're here to also contribute to that as a team and as a business. And we'll continue doing more things, talking about engaging with different stakeholders within the environmental conservation space. And we hope to do this more. We know it's the right thing to do as a brand, and it's the right thing to do for our consumers as well.
On her part, Corporate Relations Director for Guinness Ghana, Sylvia Owusu-Ankuma, urged Ghanaians to be deliberate in tackling issues of climate change to reduce its impact on human life.
Just to give you a background of why this is going to be something we will sustain. Since 2020, Guinness Ghana launched what is called the Spirit of Progress Society 2030. And at the core of Society 2030 is ensuring that we have a sustainable planet. So the three key pillars we have, as I mentioned earlier, around positive drinking, it's also around ensuring diversity in our business. So diversity and inclusion is one. But the pillar that really supports what we're doing here in terms of the tree planting is what we call the Sustainable by Design pillar. Within Sustainable by Design, it means looking at our entire value chain end to end, from where we source our grains to where we bottle our drinks, and ensuring that we've built in mechanisms to ensure that there's circularity, whether in our packaging, whether in the local raw materials we're sourcing, and the products that we're churning out and how they impact the environment. So tree planting, as I mentioned, we would have done this by ourselves, but we've partnered with the Forestry Commission, and you bear with me that the Forestry Commission is the agency responsible to ensure that we do this in the right way.
At the tree planting event, more than 1,200 trees, including mahogany, acacia, and rain trees, were planted by the management members and staff of the campaign to support the restoration of the depleted Chippa Forest Reserve.
Johnny Walker.
All right, that's business, and news continues after the break.
We've had news file over the weekend, and an interesting part of the conversation focused.
Oh no, we are out of range.
Oh, don't worry, Daddy. I have Alexa in my bag.
Alex, what?
Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana and play Joy FM.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Listen to Joy FM, Hits FM, Love FM, live on your Amazon Echo. Listen to your favorite multimedia radio stations live on your Amazon Echo device by saying, Alexa, open Multimedia Ghana, play Joy FM or Hits FM or Love FM. Or catch up on your favorite podcast by saying, Alexa, play, and then the name of your favorite podcast from Multimedia Ghana. For a list of all podcasts available, say Alexa. Ask Multimedia Ghana to browse programs.
On air. And we are back like we never lost signal.
Alexa, welcome to Multimedia.
The National Science and Maths quiz keeps getting exciting. This time around, we head to the Central Region in a quest for glory and academic supremacy. 43 schools are vying for 9 coveted slots in the Nationals. Amidst the intense competition, stories of first-time contenders, past disappointments, and underdogs seeking redemption add a layer of excitement to the thrilling battles ahead. Michael Ashali has more.
In a highly anticipated showdown, 43 schools in the Central Region are vying for the coveted 9 slots in the National Science and Maths quiz. As the competition heats up, several schools have captivating stories that add intrigue to the qualifiers. Wesley Girls Senior High School is participating in the regional qualifiers for the first time. Their hopes for a seeded position was dashed last year by Mauli Senior High School.
Audome Senior High School and Wesley Girls High School. Unfortunately, we have to part ways here.
This year, they are determined to make a strong debut and secure their spot in the Nationals.
So that means we need to break the tie to determine who the winner is.
Holy Child Senior High School faced disappointment in the 2022 preliminary stage when they were eliminated by Kumasi Secondary Technical School.
Kumasi Sectech?
-1. -1 plus.
Emmanuel?
-17.
That is correct.
Eager to break this pattern, Holy Child is hoping for a miraculous turnaround in the qualifiers. Infantiman Girls Senior High School has faced repeated setbacks in the Central Regional qualifiers. Year after year, they are falling short of progressing to the Nationals. University Practice Senior High School, a regular contender in the national championship, faces the threat of stiff competition from Kwijiri Agri Senior High School. In a gripping contest last year, University Practice SHS faced off against Infantile Girls SHS, displaying their dominance with an impressive 67 points. All that wasn't enough to get seeded, so they are back at the regionals. Another school to watch out for is JAMU Senior High School, named after former President Atta Mills. Last year, they struggled in a 4-school contest, finishing last with only 14 points compared to the winners' 41 points. With determination and newfound strategy, they are aiming to qualify for the nationals for the first time. Amidst the buzz surrounding the upcoming by-election in Asin North constituency, 2 schools from the area, Asin North Senior High Technical School and Asin Manso SHS, will be battling it out for a chance to make their debut in the nationals. In the central region, Nothing will be battling it out for a chance to make their debut in the nationals. In the central region, Nothing